Before this video begins, I just wanted to say this is a series that I just decided to do. It's going to be a 3-part series. It's going to start off slow. The videos will start off slow. They'll get better as they go on. The series will get better as they go on. It's just tips for Unlimited. Things you might not remember, might forget. Little things that hopefully can help you. If you know everything, then you're already good. You don't need this. But there's little things that you might forget that could help you, not just in Unlimited, but everywhere in the game. So I hope this is helpful. I hope it's beneficial. Make sure you're subscribed. It helps me out a lot. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the video, and I hope I could help you guys a little bit. Peace.
I was good on my own, that's the way it was. That's the way it was. You was good on the low for a 55.
Yo, what is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Mosballin. So today we're going to be talking about something huge, something that's very, very important, something that a lot of us don't talk about enough, and that's adding attributes to your players. So there's two ways to do that. You could do that with shoes, you could do that with coaches. So I'm not telling you guys you have to go out there and buy yourself diamond shoes, because all shoes add stuff, right? Gold shoes add +3 for a couple of different things. You got silver shoes that add +2s, you got bronze shoes. So when you're in an important game, I recommend using some shoes. It'll definitely help you out in the long run. Or if you're doing XP challenges, say you need to get steals with certain player, you're kind of struggling, why don't you give him a shoe, even if it's just +2? Like I have a +2 shoe here. Sometimes you need a guy that needs to hit threes, right? And his 3 ball is like a 72, and you need him for XP, or his 70 or 69, and then you're like, bro, how does 2K expect me to do that? Add a shoe. Obviously, if you have a gold, the +3 is going to help out a lot. If you're just doing something for XP and you don't think it's going to be that hard, definitely either silvers or bronzes. But if it's something like a +3 would help it more, definitely use a gold. Why not? You also get 6 games for golds. You guys know how it works, right? So what happened is I realized no player on my team has a diamond shoe. No shoes at all, not a single player. So my job today is to find some shoes for all these players. I'll show you guys my starting lineup. You guys may have seen it in yesterday's video. So this is my lineup right now. I usually use Patrick Ewing at my center spot off the bench, but I'm messing with this Rudy a little bit. Just for now, we're going to keep letting him run because his price is kind of low. So I might as well just use him for a little bit longer. I love the team besides Ja. Ja's the only one I can't really run on this team because honestly, he has no defense. I'm going to be real. He has no defense. He's just there if Steph needs a little break. I'll put him in. I don't lose that offensive punch. Good thing is I have a lot of great defenders at a lot of different areas. If I really need to go big, like for some reason I'm getting out rebounded, right? I'll just put Cam here, right? And then I'll drop Jalen down. And then I move everyone around a little bit, right? And then this ends up being my starting lineup. Now I got a lot of size. I've actually never used this Rudy in an Unlimited game. I've only used him on Triple Threat online and offline. So it's going to be our first time running him. So it's like my defensive lineup. Steph's the only one that can't defend. So I hide him on whoever is like their least offensive player, someone who's only a catch and shoot guy, and then Cam guards the ball. We can do that if we go big, or if we're still in small ball, he can always hide on someone, hopefully. So now my hopes are that a shoe helps him defensively. Honestly, he has the badges to play defense. He just needs a little boost. I'm thinking a perimeter defense shoe, right? If I could find one for him. It's hard because he can only wear Under Armour. That's something we gotta realize as well. Right here, you guys can see what shoes they're eligible for. If it doesn't say anything, then they could wear anything. But right now, you see Steph can only wear Under Armour. I think all my guys are signed with someone. You could actually see it here right on top of my head somewhere. You can see Nike for Cam, you got Blake Jordan, Nike for Rudy, and then you got Nike Ja, Converse Julius Irving, Adidas for Jalen, and then Converse, and then Connie can actually wear any shoe. So if I apply a shoe, I could switch through every brand pretty much. You should also know that Jordan brands can only wear Jordan. Cam Reddish and his brand can only wear Nike. Even though you know Jordan is a part of Nike, it's only Nike. So I need a couple Nike shoes, a couple Jordans, 2 Jordans, one for Zion, one for Blake. I kind of know what shoe I want to add for these two. I don't know what I want to add for Steph yet. Cam, Julius. I don't think everyone needs a shoe, but they're kind of cheap right now. So I don't like how this team actually looks right now. Let me actually move everyone back around. I like having everyone in the order I want them in. So usually what you would want to do is actually know what your players are good at, and then look at stats and stuff like that so you can know what you're missing. So this guy Zion is great at pretty much everything, more or less. His defense is pretty solid. He's not bad at all in anything. Like his speed is good. What I want to do, maybe add a 3-ball shoe. Maybe that's probably cool. You can always add speed. Speed is always great. Defense is always great. Those are the shoes you want to be looking at. So I have a shoe here that I kind of like. This adds perimeter defense, block, mid-range, and 3-ball. So it's +3 in all those categories. My thing is, I don't want to waste stats. That's my thing. So if a guy already has like a 98 3, right? So that's like Steph. He has a 98. My coach could bring him over the top, and I don't need to add a shoe for 3. I should focus on something else. So mid-range, for example, +3. I would look at Zion's, right? And I'd be like, oh, he has a 90 here, 93 here. And I check everything that's getting +3, and I'm like, oh, perimeter is only 82. So he's actually going to get all +15 of those stats. I don't want to go over. I just like knowing my guy is going to be close to 90, 95, 99 in every statistical category. So I like giving them in other places. So this shoe I really like, and I'm thinking going the same shoe for this man right here. So Blake Griffin, pretty much same thing. He has an 89 3-ball, 92 mid-range. I don't have one of those expensive coaches that adds a 3 to my power forward centers, so I'm gonna have to focus on things like that. Obviously a defensive shoe would be cool on this guy too, or a speed shoe. So I'll see if I can find a speed shoe for Blake, even though I think he's really fast. He has the badges to play defense, but we'll take a look and let's see what happens. So usually what I do is obviously you go to consumables, you go to diamonds. The best time to buy these is when 2K drops locker codes for like consumables, or on Fridays with the weekly spin. Sometimes people get shoes then and they don't know what they want with them. They don't want anything, they end up selling them, especially when people are also opening packs. So sometimes it's easy to get shoes like that. So I'm gonna go Jordan brand. I just want to take a look at what shoes there are, right? That's kind of what I want to do. I don't know my range. I don't really have one. Like I said, that shoe that I want to put on Zion was kind of the shoe I was looking at for Blake as well. A part of me says keep it simple and just go like that. Another part of me is like, let's increase the buy now. Let's see what we could find that's better. I need a 3-point shoe that maybe could add something else. There used to be spreadsheets that basically had every shoe there and you could look for what statistical category you needed, but so far we haven't had that. One thing you should also notice as I'm scrolling through these, so some of these add the +3 in 5 statistical categories and some of them are only in 4. So I recommend the +5 like in 5 statistical categories, because that's an extra 3 stats to somewhere. That's definitely a move, but you can also add those anywhere. So this one adds lateral quickness, speed, mid-range, 3, and draw foul. So I like this shoe a little more, this Air Jordan right here. So that's a nice one. So if I could start looking for that one and seeing how much it's kind of selling for, I think I'm gonna buy that one. So right here I see one for 11K. So now I'm like, maybe it's cheaper than what I'm actually looking for, because there's a lot of time left on that. So I'm gonna drop this. We saw what the cheap one was at. It's kind of hard to filter through these, so you kind of just gotta play around with it a little bit. And I know what the shoe looks like, so now I could kind of scroll. If you already have the shoe, it's easy because you go in your collection, you click on it, and then you only search through that shoe. That's definitely an easy way to do it that way, and there's just so many. So the shoes right here that I saw earlier, 11.35. I just got to remember that so I can buy it easy when I look next time. I'm almost at the 4-hour mark. I have not seen that shoe again. It might be because of my current bid. Maybe my current bid's a little too high, and that's perfectly fine. 11K for a shoe that I'm going to use on a player all year. I'm not going to stop using that card. I'm going to use them all the time. I found one right here for 10.9. You guys can see that right there. So this is a shoe I'm just going to buy right now. Lateral quickness, draw foul, mid-range, 3-point. Let's get it. That's for Blake right there. So I'm going to go in here for Blake. I'm just going to look at the shoe one more time, and remember, lateral quickness, draw foul. So I'm going to go back in Blake's stats. Draw foul is only an 80, which is actually surprising. I felt like it was higher. Lateral quickness is a 72, so this is a great shoe for him. His speed goes up from an 85. I think this is a great shoe for him. It increases his mid-range and his 3-pointer as well, so I don't think that's a bad move at all. So I just added him a shoe that he's going to use forever, ever, and I've already used this card for over 50 games, plus it got reset when I switched to PS5. So honestly, he's definitely played a lot of games for me without those +15 extra added boosts. So now if I go ahead and look at his stats, I see his draw foul is 83, mid-range is a 95, 3-pointer is 92, which is even better than the 89 it was originally. So now my window, even if I was like missing slightly, now it might go in a little more just off little things like that. His speed went up. You guys see his lateral quickness, nice and easy. Just one thing I really want to quickly mention, you guys should know this, or if you don't, I'm just reiterating it. Changing your coach or adding a shoe can change your takeover, right? It has that ability, and you guys can see here Blake has finally a takeover I love. He literally had a rebounding takeover, and now he has the high flying takeover. I don't even know if you guys were able to see it. I wasn't recording. I just wanted to reiterate that just in case anyone doesn't know or forgets. And before I use this shoe right here, I would just say that if I wanted to buy this shoe again, it's very, very easy for me to search for it here, and I'll only look through these shoes, all right? So if you know what shoe you want for all your players, you can buy it like this. It'll be a lot easier for you to kind of filter through these. Look, they're pretty cheap. I think I'm down to buy this one for 7K just to have it. It's not a bad shoe at all. Perimeter defense, ball handling, block. I'm gonna just just keep this one. Oh, another user bought. Yeah, that's kind of too low. I don't know if I saw an 8K one, but 7K is definitely cheap. I'm cool for right now. Sometimes you could find these shoes a lot cheaper. You guys can see here, if I have any player who is Puma brands, I have this beautiful shoe as well with the 3-ball handling. So what I could do is I could see how much it goes for. It's a Puma shoe. What I would personally do, I'm just letting you guys know, if you have shoes that are exclusive like Adidas, Under Armour, Puma, stuff like that, I would wait till like a pink diamond opal player drops that can only use that shoe, and then that's when I would sell. That's me personally. I can check to see if there's anyone I could add this to, and as you guys can see, there's no one with Puma that could like use this that would be worth it, you know. I definitely only use this on cards that would use it more than like 50 to 100 games for sure. I would only use it on guys that literally play a lot. Now when it's time to buy one for Steph is interesting because he actually doesn't need a 3-ball one, and I'm on Under Armour. Why is it not showing me Under Armour? I guess the Under Armour one is kind of glitched, unless it's because of the money. Nah, it looks glitched right here. Alright, so it's not showing me just Under Armour, which is a shame. And it sucks because he's actually going to be the hardest player to buy a shoe for. So now that I got to look like, I don't want a 3-ball one. I need something that's not a 3-ball one. We could look at a few Converse. Converse are usually the most cheapest shoes. They don't really have a 3-ball shoe. They're kind of just shoes that don't really go for much. I don't have either of these, so kind of what's gonna happen is I just got to decide whether I want this one that adds rebounding, mid-range, post fade, and block, or I would rather one that adds post moves, close shot. And then at the end of the day, I'm gonna be like, yo, even that 1K not really worth it. None of them add speed, none of them really add anything. Do I want a mid-range, right? Do I want mid-range, or would I rather have vertical, right? And this is for we saw Julius Irving. So I kind of just got to decide off that. Standing dunk maybe a little bit helps, or would I rather be able to rebound a little better? So I think maybe this one could help a little more. Mid-range going up, rebounding, and the block. That's stuff that kind of be more useful instead of post moves, hooks, close shot. Those things wouldn't be useful. So maybe we go with these Chuck Taylor highs. And like I told you guys, these are literally the cheapest shoes out there. So I'll just buy these for $12.50. Converses aren't really the best shoes, but for a guy that I use all the time, why not give him that extra boost, right? It's just gonna be a mid-range boost, post fade boost. He's got his block up a little bit and his rebounding. Obviously not stuff that's gonna be useful, but if it gets me one extra possession a game, that might be good enough for me. And once again, it's 1K, so it's one of those that you're not really missing out on anything. Now, for a guy like this, Jalen Brown, he can only use Adidas. So what I would do, I would just look really quick to see what he could use. Obviously, his mid-range and 3 could get a little boost. I won't mind that. I wouldn't mind any kind of defensive boost. Usually, you wouldn't really mind anything. So you just go with whatever you use for him for. So I like shooting a lot of 3s from the corner. I don't really take that many mid-range with him. Ball handling, I don't really ball handle the ball. If we could find a good one and this filter actually works, which it did. So right here, I'd start looking to see if there's even Adidas 3-point shoes. So these are the expensive ones because these are for 3. You can always like click on it, or 3, right? Basically you click on the analog stick, it'll flip the shoe over, you can see it a little better. So I don't want anything crazy, to be honest. We don't need a 3-point shoe if it's too expensive. I honestly don't have a budget. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna just take this shoe because it's 5K or 4K or whatever it is. Not like, I can spend a little more. I'm not mad. These are cards I'm gonna use for a while, so why not make my team as good as possible? And then after scrolling for a while, maybe I'll be like, nah, I don't really have a shoe I really like. This one's not bad. Lateral quickness, which is defense. Mid-range speed with ball. I said I don't really dribble that much with him, but I could, like, if I'm bringing up the ball and he's the one with it, why not? Ball handling goes up a little bit. Close shot. That's not a bad shoe for that price. Really not bad. So I'd basically start looking between these two. They're around the same price. And then here we go. We find a different shoe, one that has driving layup, acceleration, mid-range, close, reaction time. Reaction time is good for defense too. So now it's just basically which shoe would I prefer to have. What's the price range I'm looking for? I see this one really cheap. Do I use Jalen like that? So there's a thing where honestly I don't even use Jalen Brown like that. He's just on the team temporarily, right? I really don't even use him that much. He's not in the game that much. That's why personally I'm not even gonna put a 3-point shoe on him. So here I see the 3 shoes I'm looking at. They're all under 5K, and I just gotta make up my mind which one I want to add to. And then this is how I decide. I'm just telling you how I decide personally. Everyone can decide their own way. I'm like, driving layups, I do that sometimes. Acceleration, I give that a 50% helpful, as well as reaction time. Close shots not helpful at all, and then mid-range pretty helpful, right? Then I go to this shoe and I do the same thing. So I'm like, ball handling could be helpful as well. Lateral quickness helpful. He has close shot, so it's the same thing. Mid-range and then speed with ball. Now I just gotta decide which one is more helpful, and that's where I go, oh, speed with ball. I think that's more helpful, and that's basically how I decide. So now I come in here and I put the shoe, And then sometimes I like to just see what actually happened. So I see that his close went up, his mid-range went up. Ball handling is now at 89. His speed with ball is now 87. And his lateral quickness looking mighty right. Beautiful. And then one thing you guys can always do, like I said, check your coaches. Every coach adds something different. So I don't have an expensive coach, but my coach adds 3 lateral quickness to this man. So now his lateral quickness is a 99. Like I said, I don't really get a 3-point boost with Brett Brown because he's a defensive coach, but all the coaches right now are expensive. If you have an amethyst or diamond coach, take a look at the price, see if you really need them. Coaches are really important in this game, especially the ones that had +4 for a lot of things, +5 for a lot of things. There's literally coaches for 100K right now, like legitimately, and you probably don't even know it. So like if you have Nick Nurse, he's a 90K coach. That's better than pulling most diamonds in this game. Mike is a defensive coach. That's why he's not too expensive. If you look at amethyst coaches, this is the expensive one. He's an offensive coach. He basically adds +4 shooting to your bigs and all that good stuff. So he's always going to go for a big amount. And then you got Steve Kerr, who's also pretty expensive coach as well. I actually like this coach. I didn't know he was only 8K. I might just buy that. I don't really like the defensive coach style. Obviously, defensive coaches are great. But as soon as I add that one, you see the 3-ball and the shooting just goes up. You see he still adds defense. You see that there's 6 stats being added to a lot of players, which is beautiful. I love that. So remember, look at your coaches. This actually adds more than this coach, because as you go down, you see that Ja's only good. Actually, all my players are excellent besides Ja. Ja's the only one who's not. So I use Steve Kerr now. I like what he adds for the most part. I didn't realize he was that cheap. I thought he'd be a little more. What we actually have is a diamond shoe pack for reaching level 29. So let's see what kind of shoe 2K gives us. Maybe it's one we'll use. Maybe it's one we'll sell to add to our other players. And we got a Jordan shoe. It's not a 3-ball shoe or anything. These are nice shoes in real life, but in the game, not the best. Now, honestly, there's only one more player I need to really add a shoe for. Obviously, Curry, but it's hard to buy his shoe, like I said. I think I have one, and I don't really like this shoe on him, so I'm not going to add that. Cam definitely needs a shoe. I forgot to add Zion's, so we'll add that right now. I said I want this one, and once again, when I look at it, it's beautiful, beautiful stuff. 3-ball goes up, mid-range, ball handling, block, perimeter. Beautiful, beautiful shoe. I like that one a lot. That's one of my favorite shoes in the game, his and the one that I put on Blake. You guys could just see it on a lot of players. Zion used to have a rebounding takeover as well. You had Cam. I wanted to show you guys, but I guess not. Cam had a lockdown takeover. Now he has a shooting one as well. Just the shoes, the little differences here and there. For a lot of these guys, it's a little bit of both. It's not just the shoe. It's not just the coach. It's a little bit of both. So always just keep that in mind. Always remember that. Like you guys can see, he doesn't get a boost in shooting, just his mid-range. So it has to be a little bit of the shoe as well. If you guys don't know how takeovers work, we'll just briefly just say it real quick. I'll make another video in the future. I've made some in the past. But basically, as you guys look, it's whatever is the highest stat usually is the takeover, right? Whether it's defense, rebounding, dunking, all that, right? So you guys can see my rebounding used to be my highest, 93, 92. But now my shooting, if you look at it, 93, 96. So you guys already know that's the boost right there, especially that the coach also adds the shooting, all that. Like, it's over. He's a shooting takeover now. He's a whole different beast, different animal, and it's over. You guys cannot take off shoes from your players. Remember that. It's the same as contracts. You can't take it off and keep it, sell it, do any of that. You can, however, exchange it. So what I mean by that is, I'll show you guys right here. I'll put on a random shoe for him, and you can see, even if it was a diamond shoe, I just put a random bronze shoe on him. As soon as I want to take it off, I can add a silver shoe to it, a gold shoe. So same with diamonds. So if I put a shoe and then I realize I could get a better shoe later, you can always change it that way. A part of me says a shooting shoe for Cam Reddish, right? A part of me says that. Another part of me says defense. So Cam is Nike, so I want to get him a shoe for shooting and defense. So we're going to do the same thing. Hopefully Nike not glitched. We start looking around a little bit. So as of right now, for the ranges I'm looking, I haven't found a 3-point shoe for this man. So you guys could tell that Nike shoes are kind of a little more expensive. I'm literally looking throughout prices. I'm moving up a little bit on each for every now and then, just till I find the shoe that I'm looking for. Because as of right now, I haven't found a shoe that sticks out to me. So what I could do, I could just be like, I'm not in a huge rush. I don't need to get him a shoe right now. What you could do as well, like I said, if I'm in a big game, I'll just give my player this shoe. It does help out tremendously. Just keep that in mind. I'm going to chill for right now. I hope this helped out a little bit or a lot. Let me know if you add any shoes to any of your players. Let me know how many players that you have actually have shoes. Let me know what's good. And yeah, guys, with that said, I love you, bottom of my heart. I'll catch you guys later. It's your boy Mosballin, and Ballin out.
It's Kevin Walker. Thank you for watching Mosballin.